In fact, I was reading some tweets by President Ruto, which he wrote in 2014. And he was saying Kenyans will borrow. We will borrow money. IMF will give us more money. And he was actually lambasting the opposition then in 2014 for trying to call out the government for irresponsible borrowing. So he took ownership of that process and he participated. If you are going to run this country by blaming Uhuru Kenyatta, the first 3 months in office, what will have stopped the State Capture Commission from being set up? In fact, that should be the first point, so that going forward, it should not be the administration blaming Uhuru Kenyatta. It should be the people of Kenya being shown the pain of Uhuru Kenyatta's regime through a State Capture Commission, which they had promised they were going to institute in the first 90 days. And from the record, I've checked, there is no day that William Ruto came out to the public and said, I have been denied access or participation in cabinet meetings, or I have registered a protest vote or a dissenting vote on the following cabinet resolutions. Never. And if he was truly sidelined and he meant well, as he claims, why didn't he resign? I mean, you don't have to stay in office and enjoy it. So you are saying you are a ghost worker. You are enjoying a salary, you are enjoying the perks of office for not working for the people of Kenya. Then you are a con man.
Well, a very good day to you. Welcome to another interesting episode of the Candid Talk. Definitely, my name is Evans Okinya. I'm so glad that you've joined us for this episode. Of course, this is a good chilly morning. I'm joined by Wakili Willis Otieno, together with whom we want to discuss certain issues taking place in the country. Wakili, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
For the first time, we saw the former president Uhuru Kenyatta back. Of course, it was in Ukambani attending a church service with the former vice president Kalonzo Musyoka therein, and he actually gave a political speech for the first time, so to say, now that a number of people are saying so. And he said that nobody should blame him for anything. If at all anybody is has failed to do their work, they should actually be answerable on their own. And in that particular meeting, he also said that he is still fully in Azimio La Umoja One Kenya coalition. A number of people are asking questions. Of course, the kind of words that he spoke at that particular meeting did not go well with a number of leaders, especially those ones who are allied to the Kenya Kwanza regime. Now, let's begin from here. Is it in order for the former president right now to associate himself with a particular political party, or is it that he should be at home resting, just as the other side are saying?
The Article 38 of the Constitution does not limit the rights of a former president or any Kenyan. Everybody has political rights, and that right includes the right to belong to and associate with any political party. So it's well within Uhuru's rights to belong to Azimio and to participate in its activities. Maybe the only question that Azimio should be asking themselves is, what is the political value of Uhuru Kenyatta in their politics? Having not delivered his core constituency in the last election, will he be able to deliver that constituency going forward? I mean, that is, the jury is out there if he can do it, but that's for Azimio to decide. But it should not be of concern to Kenya Kwanza or any person that President Uhuru has chosen to continue associating with Azimio and to make public statements in relation to his chosen political path. It is his right, and we must respect it, even if we don't agree with it. I, for one, don't believe it any value that President Uhuru will add to Azimio if he goes on the trail. But that is for Azimio people to decide. You can choose your best, or you can bring your worst. Whoever you bring, let the people decide. So it should not cause any jitters to anybody. I mean, these are a competition of ideas. Uhuru and Azimio will come with the ideas, and Kenyans will interrogate them based on their past conduct and their future promises. Kenya Kwanza will come with its ideas. Kenyans will judge them based on their ideas and their conduct, even today. Sabina party with Jimmy Wanjigi will come with their ideas. Kenyans will judge us based on our past conduct and our future promises. And it is the freedom of expression to express your political ideas and to belong to a political coalition that or wing that you so desire. It should not be for Kenya Kwanza to choose for Azimio, who are its team players. Same way it should not be for Azimio to choose for Kenya Kwanza, who are its team players in politics. You can only demand of those who are holding public office whether they deserve to be there. But in terms of political association and political campaigns, no team should choose for the other. It's political players. So President Uhuru is very well in order to come out and to even campaign. He can say anything that he so desires. But of course, at some point, even Kenyans will ask him, now that you've said all of this, let's open up your administration. Let's understand. Be accountable. Because you're president. Be accountable. Let's see.
So in short, you're saying here that the fact that the end of his political tenure, or rather the end of his tenure as the president of the country, does not actually mean the end of his political rights.
Exactly. His political rights continue beyond the office. What Uhuru resigned from or retired from was the office of president. But it was not a resignation from his Article 38 political rights to engage in political activities. That continues in perpetuity until he dies or until the day he decides on his own volition to stop engaging in political activities. Yes.
A section of Kenyans feel that this blame game has been taken too long. Kenya Kwanza side are asking the president, if you don't want us to blame you for all these things that actually took place in the country. Okay, if you don't want us to blame you for whatever it is, economic crimes, of course, they're mentioning a number of things that they're saying that the president, of course, the former president drove the country into. They're blaming the former president for bringing us here where we are. Do you think that perhaps they are in order to actually keep on heaping these blames on Uhuru Kenyatta, or are they supposed to be actually finding a way of solving the problems? And
you should start by asking who was Uhuru Kenyatta's deputy. The last I checked, it was William Samoei Ruto. Who was Uhuru Kenyatta's chairperson of budget committee? It was Kimani Ichung'wah. Right? Who was the ranking member of Uhuru Kenyatta's political party Jubilee? It was Rigathi Gachagua. Uhuru Kenyatta was not running government alone. He was running government through his political party, Jubilee.
But the former...
And all these people were members of Jubilee. None of them at any given time ever resigned or registered a protest vote in cabinet or in parliament when they were doing some of these illegalities that they're accusing Uhuru Kenyatta of doing. They were part and parcel of it, and they cheered. In fact, I was reading some tweets by President Ruto, which he wrote in 2014, and he was saying Kenyans will borrow. We will borrow money. IMF will give us more money. And he was actually lambasting the opposition then in 2014 for trying to call out the government for irresponsible borrowing. So he took ownership of that process and he participated in private and in his public posturing to whatever Uhuru was doing. So I don't like this thing that Uhuru was good to the extent that we were serving in his government. We enjoyed those offices. We enjoyed those perks. But Uhuru was bad when it came to the failures of that administration. If Uhuru was bad, the whole lot of you are bad. If you made bad decisions, you are all part of those bad decisions, and you must be accountable for them. It cannot be an individual. In fact, where we sit as Sabina, as we believe, the entire rubric of Jubilee, from President Uhuru to William Ruto to Deputy President Gachagua to Kimani Ichung'wah, they're all bad. We've seen all of them in their best element. In their best element, they borrow irresponsibly, they take odious debt, they run phantom projects, and Kenyans pay for it. That is who they are. And we must call them out for who they truly are. Then we go to the next component of it.
Okay.
If you are going to run this country by blaming Uhuru Kenyatta, the first 3 months in office, what will have stopped the State Capture Commission from being set up? In fact, that should be the first point, so that going forward, it should not be the administration blaming Uhuru Kenyatta. It should be the people of Kenya being shown the pain of Uhuru Kenyatta's regime through a State Capture Commission, which they had promised they were going to institute in the first 90 days in office.
Before we get there, make me understand this. The Deputy President claimed to be sidelined by the President back then, especially after the, now I wonder whether you should call it famous or infamous, the handshake that took place between the former Prime Minister and the former President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga therein. He said very well that he was sidelined. He was not given any role there to play. Some of the duties that were actually supposed to be performed by him were transferred elsewhere. How then do you heap blames on him on even a number of things to which he wasn't signatory to?
Government works through cabinet. Let him tell us which cabinet meeting he was stopped from attending. And if he attended cabinet, right, let him put on the table which resolution of cabinet that was passed, that he registered a protest vote, a dissenting vote. None. So we should not also be quick to consume lies or misrepresentation. The fact that, assuming he was sidelined, what does sidelining mean? Because for me, if you're a cabinet minister or you sit in the cabinet, the ultimate act of being sidelined will be being denied access to the cabinet. He attended cabinet meetings.
But he's saying for him here, it's like he was not actually involved in the decision making.
No. Cabinet is where decisions are made. Ultimately, whatever you're doing goes to cabinet. It is the cabinet that sits and passes resolutions.
Okay.
If at any given time was he denied attendance or participation in cabinet meetings, he should have said so. And from the record, I've checked, there is no day that William Ruto came out to the public and said, I have been denied access or participation in cabinet meetings, or I have registered a protest vote or a dissenting vote on the following cabinet resolutions. Never. And if he was truly sidelined and he meant well, as he claims, why didn't he resign? I mean, you don't have to stay in office and enjoy it. So you are saying you are a ghost worker. You are enjoying a salary, you are enjoying the perks of office for not working for the people of Kenya. Then you are a con man. You are conning us for entertaining you, giving you public comfort for an office that by your own words you are saying you are not doing anything. But the ultimate truth, there was no point that he was denied participation and attendance to cabinet meetings. He was there, and the pictures are there. The internet does not forget. There are many pictures of them posting pictures of them. Oh, today we attended the cabinet meeting. A state house hosted by our president, His Excellency UHURU Kenyatta. They were there celebrating and participating in those cabinet deliberations. So they must take responsibility.
Okay.
Let us not be sent to the bush. People finding plausible excuses why they should not be blamed or they should not take responsibility for the acts of Jubilee. And me, I call them, all these are the acts of Jubilee. Jubilee from 2013 started this pain. Jubilee in Kenya Kwanza is continuing with this pain. The cancer of our country is Jubilee. Even the part of Jubilee that is Azimio will still perpetuate this pain if they are in office. Because the foundation of Jubilee was odious debt. It was deceit. Right? It was conmanship.
Okay. Make me understand this. Now, the leaders from the Kenya Kwanza side are saying that the former president, UHURU Kenyatta, has just come out of his, whatever they call it, I don't know whether it's a political hideout or whatever, but then, of course, he's been mum for quite a while, and they are alluding his comeback to a bill that has been sponsored by the leader of majority in the National Assembly, Honorable Kimani Ichung'wah, to actually look into the so-called state capture, that commission of inquiry that they actually want to set up to inquire and tell the country what was this state capture, what did it do, and what are actually things taking place therein. And they, of course, it's they kind of try to associate it with the former president. Now, tell me, how realistic do you think these people are? How genuine do you think the Kenya Kwanza government is right now that they've decided to come up with this commission? And do you think in any way will it actually help reveal or rather unravel all the economic miseries that the country has had in the past regime?
In fact, that is the Kenya Kwanza response to UHURU coming out to speak politically. Because Kimani Ichung'wah's response was to UHURU's appearance in Kitui, in Mwingi. They should do it as soon as yesterday. It is the interest of this nation that the State Capture Commission is set up. And we will look for the state capture in the last 10 years to date. Because state capture is still going on. Doesn't mean that it ended. We've just gone through G2G. That is state capture in full operation, where you are ignoring an existing government parastatal in favor of private entities. And the consequence of it, Kenyans are paying the highest amounts of fuel in the region. It's state capture. So they should do it as soon as yesterday. Let's have that commission set up as soon as yesterday to start from 2013 to date. Let there be accountability. Let UHURU Kenyatta come and answer to the allegations being made against him. Let us see the evidence of what they did. Let William Ruto also come and say what Uhuru Kenyatta did. And let him bring the evidence. Let Kimani Ichung'wah come. Let them come. That will be to the interest of the nation, that we now understand totally what the true state of affairs has been in this country for the last 10 years. Because what Mwananchi knows is that 10 years of Jubilee and now 1 more year of Kenya Kwanza, which is part of Jubilee, is pain. So when they want to tell on us, tell on each other what they've been doing, it's in our interest that we have them say that. And that will be a lesson to future generations and even to the next, this administration and the next one. Not to engage in the kind of things that this past administration and this present one are engaging in. So I welcome it.
If at all there were any economic crimes committed at that particular moment, then definitely Kimani Ichung'wah was the chair of the Budget and Appropriation Committee. Don't you think that he stands a better chance of explaining to the country, even without setting up that particular commission, what is it that took place?
But of course, I said, my view, I don't think Kimani Ichung'wah, they are serious about State Capture Commission. If they were, they will have instituted it.
Okay.
Why they've not done it, it's also their role will come into play, into focus.
So you think it could be a self-trap?
They will not do it, of course. What has stopped them? Because Uhuru appeared in Mwingi, now it's become an agency. The need for a State Capture Commission was there last year. It was there last month. Why have they not done it?
Okay.
They should do it. In fact, they have the full support of the people of Kenya to set up a State Capture Commission because it serves the interest of the nation today and into the future.
Well and good, ladies and gentlemen, that is it here on this conversation about what is taking place in the country with regards to the presence of the former president, of course, in this country, and also this issue about the state capture. Do you think that these people will actually make good their threat this time around? Please kindly weigh in on this conversation and tell us what you think. Stay tuned to some of our programs that will be coming up, and thank you for watching. My name is Evans Okinyi.